short presentation will examine how the Malaysian Penan tribe have sustainably managed the tropical rainforest in their region where they live. This will make an excellent case study to help with your studies about the tropical rainforest. Thank you to Darcy and Grace for helping with this show.
The Penan tribe are Malaysian people living in the Sarawak region on the island of Borneo. They live in the Malaysian tropical rainforest region on Borneo Island, situated close to the equator.
Pause the show and make a note of their location before moving on. Penan are a nomadic indigenous people living in Sarawak in Brunei. Do you know what this means?
They are one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes in the world. They live in the Borneo rainforest, regularly moving around the rainforest in search for food and resources.
Penan are indigenous people to this part of the world. This means that they are native to this part of the rainforest and have always lived within this part of the island of Borneo. Pause the show and make some notes, making sure you know what nomadic indigenous people mean before moving on.
The Penan follow a sustainable living lifestyle. Do you know what this means?
Sustainable living means that you cause very little or no damage to the environment. This means that you are able to live there for a long time in a balance with nature.
Pause the show, make some notes, making sure you know what sustainable living is before moving on.
The Penan try not to ever exploit the rainforest. It is in their best interest to take good care of the rainforest because it has been their breadbasket where for centuries they have hunted and gathered everything they have needed for survival within their local area.
The Penan follow the Molong practice, which means they only take what they need. The rainforest provides lots of local resources which the Penan are able to collect, such as seasonal fruits and berries, local herbs for medicine, wild boar, deer and fish.
Pause the show and make sure you know about these points before moving on.
The Penan fully believe in the protection of their homeland so they may be passed on for future generations to enjoy. They want legal environmental protection for their rainforest region.
The Penan are in tune with nature and therefore it is in their best interest to have conversation at the heart of their actions. They are desperate to help maintain the rainforest as it is and share their knowledge of what it has to offer with others.
The Penan want their lands to be recognised by law as their own. This would allow them to help manage the tropical rainforest so it would not be damaged or harmed. Pause the show and make sure you know more about the Penan sustainability before moving on.
The Borneo rainforest is seen as an untapped resource by the Malaysian government despite the Penan living there. They have identified the region to help boost the country's gross national income through a number of different schemes.
Logging of the region and then the planting of palm oil plantations is a big boost to the country's economy. This was allowed on Penan lands, meaning that it destroyed the animal habitats and natural food supplies. Water pollution poisoned the fish as all the soil washed into the rivers.
A hydroelectric dam was built on the Penan lands which submerged lots of their territory in water, meaning that many of the plants they used to eat have been lost, as well as animal migration routes being harmed, giving the Penan little choice but to stop being hunter-gatherers. All these changes have led most of the Penan to now change their way of life and settle down permanently. Pause the show, make some notes on how the modern world, led by the Malaysian government, has affected the Penan. On the screen, there's a typical exam question looking at how an indigenous group would value the rainforest where they live. The question has been broken down to help think more carefully exactly what it wants. Because it starts with assess, it's sensible to try and keep saying just how important the forest is to them with each point that you make. Remember, as it's a case study, you would need to name the tribe and say which rainforest they live in. In this case, it will be the Penan indigenous people that live in Sarawak, Borneo Island, Malaysia. Try and come up with 2 or 3 fully developed points based on what we've learnt. Why not pause the show and have a go at the question?
Here we have an example of how to answer part of this exam question. The point mentioned is about how they use the flora, which means plants in the forest.
This point is then explained to show why the plants are of use, mentioning that they do not have medical access like us.
A top answer would further develop the point by adding a little more explanation to the point being made about the importance of the plants. Pause the show and look carefully at how to develop your answers fully. This now concludes how the Penan live and use the tropical rainforest in Borneo sustainably. Thank you to Darcy and Grace for their support.